Welcome back to Rare Gameroom Gaming. Today we're taking a dive into one of the most underrated superhero games on the Super Nintendo, the death and return of Superman. This 16-bit brawler took one of DC's boldest comic book arcs and turned it into a side-scrolling slugfest, packed with multiple Supermen, unique powers, and a few surprises you might not know about. So, before we fly into the history, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to drop a comment below with your memories of this game, or let us know which classic title you want us to cover next. In the early 90s, the death of Superman storyline rocked the comic world, literally killing off DC's flagship hero. Naturally, a video game adaptation was soon in the works. Developed by Blizzard Entertainment and published by Sunsoft in 1994, the death and return of Superman brought the story to the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, with a Sega Genesis version following shortly after. The game closely follows the comic arc, with playable segments as Superman, Superboy, Steel, Cyborg Superman, and the Eradicator. It was one of the earliest games to feature multiple versions of the same hero with different movesets, a precursor to what games like Spider-Man, Shattered Dimensions, and Batman, Arkham Knight would later explore.
I am stealth. I am speed. I am agility. I am power. I am. Spider-Man.
What's fascinating is that Blizzard wasn't yet the behemoth we know today from Diablo. Or Warcraft.
This world. And we have forgotten what makes us strong.
Back then, they were still operating under their original name, Silicon and Synapse. The death and return of Superman was one of the last games they developed before rebranding. Sunsoft, the publisher, was known for excellent soundtracks and visuals on the original Nintendo. Remember Batman on NES? Same company. With this Super Nintendo title, Sunsoft delivered solid graphics and powerful music that added emotional weight to the action-packed story. At its core, the game is a side-scrolling beat-em-up in the style of Final Fight or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. But unlike those, each Superman clone has a different feel. Steel has a powerful hammer. Superboy uses ranged blasts. And Cyborg Superman has devastating energy attacks. One thing that stood out, it wasn't easy. The Super Nintendo version was infamous for punishing enemy waves and few health pickups, especially in later levels. Critics at the time were mixed, praising the graphics but knocking the repetitive gameplay. Many fans don't know this. An arcade version was planned but never released. Sunsoft had designs for an arcade beat-em-up version similar to The Punisher by Capcom. But scrapped it mid-development due to licensing costs and the emerging decline in arcade profitability. As for the Japanese Super Famicom, it never got a release. The game was only localized for North America and Europe. Even the Sega Mega Drive version, released in Europe, had slightly different music cues and more muted colors due to hardware differences. A rare case where the Super Nintendo version was considered superior across the board. Sales-wise, The Death and Return of Superman did moderately well, especially on Super Nintendo. Exact numbers are scarce, but estimates put it at around 300,000, 400,000 units sold globally. Not bad for a comic tie-in. As for Superman games in general, most fans know about the infamous Superman 64 disaster. But the Super Nintendo title is often regarded as one of the best Superman games to date, even if that's a low bar. Other Superman titles include the 1987 original Nintendo game, which was loosely based on the Superman movies. The 1992 arcade brawler by Taito, and the underrated Superman Shadow of Apocalypse on PS2 and GameCube. But few, if any, match the faithful storytelling of this 1994 gem. The Death and Return of Superman may not be perfect, but it remains a fascinating piece of superhero gaming history. A rare moment where the comics, game mechanics, and developer talent aligned, if only briefly. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to support the channel. We'd love to hear from you. Comment below with your memories of this title, or what superhero game you'd like us to cover next. And hey, click one of the videos on screen now to dive deeper into the world of retro gaming. This is Rare Gameroom Gaming. Thanks for watching.